G'day, Ben Cousins here.
Peace, everybody. I'm Carmelo Anthony.
You're listening to Ball Magnets.
And you're listening to the Ball Magnet Podcast.
He's a superstar. He is an absolute superstar, Tom Mitchell. Cripps at the back. Cripps is too good. Yes! Oh, how good was that?
The Ball Magnets podcast is brought to you by AIA. Talk us through the kit, Gin. It looks like you've come straight from Strawberry. You've got the, are they boardies? I'm going to say they're boardies, 3/4 boardies. Oh no, they're Nikes.
Yeah, Nike long.
With the pink streak and the pink shoes.
Yeah.
I'd love to see your closet at home. Like is it a planned, what you're going to wear for the day, or you just mix and match because you've got a collar into some shorts? How do you do it? I'm actually interested.
Yeah, today was a bit of a process. Had to look good when I was seeing you, of course.
Yeah,
had to chuck on this.
What is that? Rolly? Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, a little bit of colour coordination always has to be a thing, I think. So pink. And then thought summer vibes, just like a little nicer button up. And then some random hat from the op shop is always.
There is some thought that goes into it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because even when you play footy, like you always just have something slightly different. It's just you. It's who you are, which I love. But I remember when we were playing together at Collingwood, you used to like wear the headband with the long hair.
Yeah.
And remember you used to get like the fluoro orange or fluoro green, and then Shane or one of the staff would come up before the game and be like, mate, you can't run out with that on. And you'd be filthy.
So
and they'd give you a black shoelace.
Literally. Yeah, definitely dirty, but at the Hawks can wear the yellow or the brown.
Yeah.
But Finn McGuinness pulled me up on that yesterday that I was wearing like a bandana basically when I was training outside and like.
It's like Ninja Turtle stuff.
Like, yeah, and Finn was like, you always have a little bit of zest, don't you? And I was like, yeah, you're always going to be a little bit different. But yeah, that's just something I've always done since I was a kid.
Is it cool looking at the locker at Hawthorn? So you're 33.
Yeah.
Seeing Cyril's number up there? Because he was goated, one of your faves.
Yeah, definitely.
What number is, I know you'd be all over the numbers on the locker. How many flags is there and what number games?
Jesus. Cyril Z's about 189.
Yeah.
3 flags, Norm Smith.
4 flags?
4. Nah, I don't know.
You play away? I think you played away.
Yeah, maybe 4.
Yeah, I think he's got 4.
Jeez, so yeah, that's unbelievable. And a VFL flag, like I'm pretty sure
He played the moment. Yeah.
So he's won a fair few flags. Chris Barlow is the other one who's won a flag. He's played like 90 games.
Yeah.
I think that's it though. So hopefully I can get my name on there, and I love having it on 2 lockers.
Do you love when I get to you and I send you random photos of stuff at the club? It'll be like, what did I send you the other day? It was like just your name. Well, you've already got your name on the locker because now that you've left the club. But it was 42 games at Pies.
With a little
and then I might find a photo of you around the club next to like a Harry Moffat photo book or something and just send it through.
Yeah, it's always good to see, I guess, my journey. And like when you see those photos, you obviously reflect on those times. And, when you win a flag at a place, like it's pretty special. You have bonds with people and, I guess I'll always be a Collingwood premiership player, which is pretty cool.
Do you actually feel like that though? Like, because I know, when you leave a club, I've experienced it as well. A part of you is, in a little way, not bitter, but, you're sort of on another team now, so they're the opposition. But do you feel a part of you is still Collingwood, or do you feel like, you're purely Hawthorn, or do you think you'll always sort of have that part of you that is Collingwood due to the memories and the friendships? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, definitely.
Like I had the same experience leaving Swans and Hawks, and you sometimes wish things could have happened on better terms.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's just how it is, and you have that bit of resentment, or I'll prove you wrong, or whatever it is.
Yeah. I think definitely in the start of the trade, like I was, probably a bit more like off Collingwood, I guess. But now, like reflecting, like I don't really, I guess, maturing and reflecting on the journey I had, it's more like, wow, that was such an amazing experience. Like I did so many great things there. Like why not just like make it a happy situation? Like instead of making it a downer, like I feel like at the start it was like, oh, you guys didn't want me, or like all this stuff. And I was like just playing so much stuff in my head, but just like accepting what happened and really appreciating what happened, and then just moving on to the next chapter in my life. And everyone knows it's business and all this stuff. But I feel like now that I've like really taken a back step from the trade, and I've had my time at Collingwood, it was so good, but now I'm at Hawthorn and there'll always be a little bit of Collingwood in Jack in it.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I think in the initial period of when you leave a club, there's always that, I can't pinpoint what the word is, but I think in time as well, when you reflect, like I look back at my time at Hawthorn now and I was like, how good was that? Like, you know, a lot of great mates, a lot of good times. And then same at Sydney, like especially early days, I remember having a lot of resentment because, you know, missed out on finals, grand finals. I was like, you know, you feel like you're hardly done by. But then when you remove yourself, you know, think in a positive light and think about the positive memories, I think it's a good thing because, you know, life's too short, as they say, but it's just a good way to reflect back and on the good times, especially winning a flag, because I don't know what the percentage of players are that win or don't win, but you've already achieved it at a young age.
Yeah, exactly. And like what, like there's no point of being like angry or like, you know, feel these sort of ways. Like this happened, you've moved on and now you're like going really well at a different club. Like it's good for both parties and everyone moves on. And it's always will come back to Collingwood as a premiership player and hope for reunions and
10 years time, mate, we'll be having a beer, don't worry.
Exactly. We're having plenty of fucking beers. So
we're at Geordie's.
But yeah, no, it's definitely been a good transition. But I've always got friends and good times there for sure.
What about your first season at Hawthorn? You know, to the external footy world, surprised a lot of people with how well you guys did. And we were just talking off air about the Port Adelaide final and how close you guys were to making a prelim, like pretty insane. But talk to us about the experience of the whole season, and then let's get into the Port Adelaide game itself, of when it sort of went down to the wire and the emotions of losing a big game like that.
Yeah, the whole season was crazy, obviously, coming from such a long way back. And, you know, we had to do all these things to put ourselves in a position to play finals. And, you know, when you're 0-5, games in round 10 feel like finals, because it feels like if you lose, you can't make finals. They always say you can only lose one game from here. So I guess for us, we were always on edge, which has probably put us in a good position coming into this year because, you know, we played in so many tense and tight games that will probably really hold us instead for this upcoming season. And then, the final series for us, we embraced really well. Obviously played the Doggies. I think it was the highest elimination grand final like ever.
Crowd-wise?
Yeah.
What was the number?
98,000.
Was it 98?
Yeah. So,
wow.
Which is obviously the two informed sides of the comp. I think it was the only Melbourne game of the week. So everyone was pretty keen to watch and, you know, just stand up in a big stage. Our team was, unreal. And then to go over to Port Adelaide on a Friday night and do what we did, obviously lost, but, you know, a few missed goals in the last quarter by myself, more assists. And then to put ourselves in a situation where we could have won the game was, good. But we're, hungry for more, that's for sure.
What was the margin?
3 points.
3 points, wow. And with the Bulldogs game the week prior, was that crowd one of the loudest you've experienced? Like, how did it compare to Grand Final Day 23 or Prelim 23?
Yeah, I think the prelim, GWS Siren prelim is like one of the loudest I reckon.
Where were you on the ground at that point?
On the wing. I remember Jamie kicked it out. Like,
he kicked it sideways.
Oh, we kick it.
Yeah.
Players.
You can't say where.
You can't say the tactics online.
But I see you in the late game tactics as well, though. You take forever to get up.
Literally. So, Jamie kicked it out, and then Josh did this amazing move and kicked it to Will, and I was like, somewhere there. I was a sub, so I was just buzzing everywhere. I was telling everyone.
You were too.
Telling everyone to
bring
move.
that much energy late in those games.
Telling Bo to get on Whitfield and like do all this stuff.
Remember that? Yeah. I remember that. The vision of that that would play through the club. That was like your little footy smarts, which the media actually picked up on quite a bit of it this year.
Yeah.
Just how you see things really well and little nuances. And that was a part of that game, late in that game, which probably no one still has seen today, but getting Bo, who was sort of, I guess, as you do, late in games, everyone's under fatigue, was a bit out of position at one point. You got him on a dangerous player in Whitfield. Nothing ended up happening, but it's just those little things that you need, smart players and experienced players to get wins like that because the margins are so tiny.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that has always been something I've like prided myself on and like sports knowledge, even if it's like, just like debating something like at the club, like about basketball or NFL, like if I know the sport, I know it like very well.
You do.
Like, so, and like watching games of football from when I was 10 years old to like 18, I would have watched 8 games a week, like always on my phone or like watching footy like at the club or like just something to and which has probably put me in a position where I am today that I can sort of be like a mini coach, like on the field, which has probably helped in some way, I guess.
Take this the right way, but like your personality doesn't align with that though, in my opinion, you know, like I was like a footy nerd kid. So like you can understand me being like watching all the games and being like that, but you've got this like off-field character where you're like pretty chill, but then you've also got this nerd nuffy side of you, you know what I mean? Like no one would know that about you. Like if you looked at you, you'd think you're the type of player, like who would it be like not that, you know, like someone like a Geordie who's so casual, doesn't watch footy at all, rocks up, gets it done, just, you know, so talented and obviously works hard as well. But I would put you more in that category of just sort of like how you're a pretty casual guy, but then you've got this thing in your brain, you're just like a sports nuffy. Yeah. Like no matter, like your main sports, obviously footy, basketball, NFL, your knowledge, NFL, knowledge off the charts there.
Yeah, I was starting to be good.
So you've got like a form of OCD, you lock in hard.
OCD. And I think like, well, as a kid from the country, like that's all you did like growing up. You went to the footy on the weekend, you watched AFL, you loved sport. Like that's all you did. So I definitely have loved sport since I was, 10 and have loved watching AFL for sure.
Yeah. And you're from Shep, yeah?
Castlemaine.
Same thing. Close enough. But anyway, on that, Dyson Daniels from the same area as you, and you obviously know him from growing up and sport growing up and things. And his season at the moment, he just got named the Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the Month. Yeah. Averaging 3 steals, almost 7 deflections per game. And he's still not being spoken about as a favourite to win the Defensive Player of the Year, just because his name isn't a Wemby or a Draymond Green, you know, which is bizarre. We're biased to him because we know him and he's Aussie. But his transformation this year, have you watched much of him?
Yeah, definitely. Atlanta definitely going well in the trade. A lot of people thought that it was a very bad trade for DeJounte Murray for Dyson, but it's worked out in their favour, as Trae Young obviously likes to hang on to the ball a bit and and not the world's best defender. So to have Dyson there,
he complements him.
Yeah, exactly. They work very well together and they absolutely love, I see all the videos of Atlanta and they absolutely love him. They call him the Great Barrier Thief. And
is that right?
Yeah, they absolutely froth Dyson. So as most Americans do, they love all the Aussies. But he's been unreal. And I was lucky enough to, be mates with him and go to school with him and look at what he does, and he's absolutely flying, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's, we obviously both know him and Giddey quite well. Giddey having a triple-double within the last week as well. It's funny to even see, someone like a Giddey who's a primary ball handler, can obviously get some unbelievable numbers, but it's funny, in the NBA, sometimes if you have a specific role, you can fit into a system easy. Like Dyson's found this role now in this team where he just defends real hard.
And is trusted as well.
Yeah, he's trusted and he's still scoring offensively, but he knows his role on offense as well, whereas be interesting to see in terms of salary and pay who gets a bigger deal because Giddey, you would say, is more talented with ball in hand, but there's only one ball out there and there's so many good players on the court, whereas I feel like Dyson's found a spot and a niche, which is very specific. Like they rate defense a lot, but that doesn't really get celebrated in the media.
Well, yeah, definitely now that like everyone just shoots and it's all about shooting and offense, I feel like teams definitely value defense, and to find someone that is that good, and like I said, that niche of defense, he'll definitely be getting some.
They'll be getting some cabbage.
Yeah, which is that's how much cabbage we should be getting every year.
I wish.
Those boys are absolutely flying, and I applaud Giddey because he's probably not the most athletic and like he can't jump like LeBron and Wemby, and he's not like super big, but the way he just like manipulates situations and he's sort of like Pendles.
He's like Pendles.
But like, just like with the ball, like he knows where everyone is, like he's
crafty.
His IQ
things.
is obviously off the charts, and I'm probably sure he was a basketball nuffy as well because it seems like he just knows.
Yeah. Well, he loves his footy as well. I'm sure they both correlate. Did you get to watch either of them play when you're in the States? Talk to us about your off-season because you're over there for quite a while. Did you go to any basketball games?
Yeah, unfortunately couldn't get to Atlanta or Chicago. A little bit out of the way, but I went to a few NBA games, went to the Clippers and Suns at the new Dome, which was pretty cool on Halloween.
The new Clippers stadium. How was that?
Yeah, it was actually cool. They call it the Wall, and everyone it was on Halloween, so everyone dressed up in Halloween costumes.
That's cool. What were you?
I didn't dress up in Halloween. I was in a nice little box. So
Surely not.
Nah.
That's not you. You would have 100% kidded up at some point.
maybe
but not.
after. And
Yeah,
got
after
on the
hours.
beers. But went to that and then Phoenix and Trailblazers and then the Nets and the Bucks. So went to a few games and it was real nice.
KD live?
Yeah, KD, Giannis, Booker. So not Kawhi, of course. He was obviously injured, but James Harden was elite. He had a triple-double in like nearly the first half. So got to saw a few good players and obviously up close. I was like on the sidelines. So it was, pretty cool to see how like they're just monsters and unbelievable athletes.
Like, wonder how they still find spacing in a sport now that provides, they rely on the spacing.
Yeah.
Because they're so big, they're taking up most of the space. Like Giannis, I remember watching a game last year. Like sometimes it looks like he's playing little kids. Like he just gets in the paint, one dribble from the 3-point line, and just you can't stop it.
I know. Yeah, watching him, he looks like a try hard because he's just like one of those bullies who just like a school kid.
He's playing. It's like year 12 versus year 7.
Literally.
Yeah.
He's a monster, but he's been dominating as well. There's been a few dominating at the moment.
What about the rest of your trip? What else did you do over there? Where'd you go?
Yeah, started in Miami, which was I only just got there because of Hurricane Milton. So I was basically just going into Miami into one of the biggest hurricanes in the world, ever recorded. So it was pretty scary, but got there. The weather was pretty shit. But then I went to Nashville and Knoxville. So went and saw Jackson Ross play. He used to play at the Hawks.
So you're with Maury and who else was there this year?
Will Day.
Talk us about that. I've seen footage of you guys running on the field post-game. Did Rossi sort that access out for you guys? That crowd looked like it was 100,000.
Yeah, there was a few of my mates as well there who I went to America with, and then I saw the Hawks boys there, and those boys are really close with Rossi, so they're in the family box section. I've just snuck in after a few beers, getting carried away, and then when they win, they bet Bama, which is like a really a rival, sorry. So then we just everyone ran on the field and went crazy. So it was pretty cool. He chucked the helmet on me and we were carrying on as usual.
God, that's good. Yeah, Nashville would have to be, now that I've been to America a few times, like I guess when you go to the start for your first time, you go to LA, you go to New York, you go to Miami, and then I feel like the hidden gems are actually places like Austin, Texas. I'm not sure if you got to Austin, but Nashville, a few other places in Central America, which aren't staples, but that's where you see like real America and just such cool places. Like, what did you think of Nashville? Did you go there on a weekend?
We left on Saturday morning, but got there like on a Friday night. Like
because that strip is kind of, I don't know if you've been to Vegas yet. It's kind of like Vegas. It's just one long strip of just country live band, and it goes for like a kilometre.
Yeah, literally. They close it off on Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So we went out Friday night, and just like you said, everyone's crazy, like country music. I'm not the biggest country music fan, but like you just had to buy into the culture, and it was like everyone loving it, and it was like you said, it was real American. Like
did you get kitted up in like how they wear the overalls and the big cowboy hats?
No, I didn't. But a few of my mates who I caught up with like went to Austin before I had the BNF, but they were in Austin before and they had the cowboy boots on. And
I've been to Austin 5 times, best.
Yeah,
have to go.
Apparently it's elite. So I went to the usual spots, LA and New York, and then finished in Hawaii as well.
What about so talk to us about Hawaii. That was with the missus.
Yeah.
So you did a bit with the boys, a bit with the missus.
Yeah.
That balance piece is in check. What was Hawaii? Did you do Waikiki or did you go to Maui?
Yeah, Waikiki.
Yeah.
Went with Lily, which was unreal. We just had 9 nights, literally. Waikiki, we didn't want to like move around too much. We had a car and like just basically chilled out. It was pretty good to finish my trip with her, and all we did was eat acai bowls, lay on the beach, and then go out for nice dinners. So can't really complain, to be honest.
You need that part of the off season, I reckon, just to really put the feet up and reflect on the season it was. And heading into this year, it's going to be massive. How are you feeling about the expectation on you guys? Have you guys spoken about that yet in-house?
No, I don't think so. I don't for us, it's just, I feel like, honestly, it doesn't feel like there's any expectation on us. Like, just feels like we're just going to keep playing the way we were. And because the way we were playing, we had no fear. Like, we were just playing on how we normally play. And it's a really unique group that everyone's so young and everyone's so just like happy to be there. And there's no real expectations for us. We obviously want to be as good as we possibly can, but I'm looking pretty excited to definitely play again. That's for sure.
I think everyone's keen to. I know I'm definitely keen just to play again. What's that?
Toey.
Yeah, Toey. Yeah, Toey. Especially when you haven't played for a while. But
yeah, you'd be.
Yeah, I'm itching at the bit.
Literally.
Doing 1,000 ground balls a day. Doing dodging through. Oh, what about your reply to my story? You're like, this is the most Titch thing I've ever seen when I'm dodging through the rings. What do you think about that? What was your initial reaction?
Titch absolutely loves to do these rogue handball counter movement drills. So every time he puts it on the story, I reply saying, this is just so you, because you won't see me stand on 1 foot handballing left and right, but I probably should. But
you'll be buys, tries, bench.
Literally.
Even gym programs. Remember at the gym, like you'd be doing the whatever program, I'd be doing my Titch program. You'd be like, mate, what are you doing?
Yeah, Titch loves the banded exercise, doing like this or like little leg exercises.
You'll never be one of those guys.
Maybe when I'm a fossil.
Like when you're a fossil and you need to.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll get on board the program.
I definitely need to get in your handball club. Need to fix up the
I'll take you along for the ride, don't worry. What about the new recruits? So we've obviously got a few at Collingwood. What about Battle and Barras? Because they're going to be 2 big ins for you guys. Key position players, which I sense you guys probably needed. Like you got some really good key position players, but you've got depth in that space now.
Yeah.
Where do you think they will both play, and what does that mean for Sis as well?
Secrets.
What's your opinion?
Battle and Barras have been amazing. I guess when Battle came in, I didn't know how like fit he was. Like he was like came like top 5 in our running, I think. And
you can run, can't he?
and obviously he's so strong. He's a big boy. So it's definitely good to have him on board. I knew how versatile he was at the Saints. Like wherever he played, he was always nice. I like him as a winger, but no one at the club probably thinks that. But I might.
An oversized wing can be good because if you get one-on-one isolated marking contests, you're probably going to win.
I think that's like an underutilized thing.
Yeah,
I might bring that out when me and you coach. AFL.
Do you want to take me out to the wing?
Yeah, we'll just put that in the back pocket. But yeah, Kim and Weddle will probably. Like I feel like could switch on the wing. Like Weddle could play wing. Barras has been like a nice, calming like person to be around. He's just like a lot of wisdom and speaks really well. And you know what you're going to get from him, like a big boy. Like he's an absolute monster.
Yeah.
So he'll be playing fullback. I think that's pretty set. And then for Sis, like I guess you get these people in so you can try different things. Maybe Dimmer forward, Sis forward. Maybe Battle and Sis swap like when we need to. I don't know. So Sam, I'm sure is pretty happy like looking at all those magnets and deciding what to do. But it'll definitely be good if we need to change something up forward if it's not working. So pretty excited for that. What about your boys?
Yeah, no, they're looking good. Yeah. I feel like our depth.
I love Dan. His shoe is. I reckon he's top.
Dan Houston,
top 3 shoe in the
top 3 shoe in the AFL.
Yeah.
Mate, he can kick it.
He's nice.
Yeah, he can kick it.
Him and Whisper. Halfback would be.
Yeah, it's dangerous. And Josh as well, potentially.
True.
Good ball use of halfback. Perryman looking fit. I think he'll be a really good addition. He's got like just versatility.
Hard nosed farmer.
Yeah, real country. He's so country, but such a nice guy. Yeah. He's from Wagga Wagga, probably the most country place on earth.
Yeah.
And then we basically got Tim Membry, who's a mate of mine for nothing really.
Yeah, free.
And he's fit.
Jumps off too.
Yeah, he loves a double foot jump. And can jump high too.
Smokes me.
He's got a really good set shot. We're doing set shots the other day. Dead eye. Dead eye.
Yeah,
so yeah, they're looking good, but I guess time will tell. But we play you guys twice this year, I think.
Yeah, I didn't even look.
We play you guys twice. Who do you play in gather round? Because you guys are
Port Sunday night.
Oh, you're the close off game.
Yeah.
I think we're the Friday night against Swans.
Yeah, so always in the big spots.
So you've got some big time slots this year, Hawthorn, you're going to thrive off that. Like I feel like you were almost back to being him again at some points this year.
Yeah.
And then you naturally rise when these big crowds rock up, which I'm not sure how many Friday and Thursday night games you had last year, but
we had 0.
You had 0.
Or 1 at Metricon, and we got smashed by 60. So
and then this year you've got like 4, I'm going to say.
Yeah, even more, I think. So we start Friday night, then go Friday night, Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday, Easter Monday.
You know your schedule.
It's like
The Monday one's a big one for Hawks always. That was one of my favourite games at Hawthorn to play in the Easter Monday because all eyes are on you because it's the only game.
Yeah.
They're the most special ones.
literally last year we played and we got like brought off for lightning for an hour.
That's right.
It was like nearly
yes.
the game nearly got cancelled. So
Yeah, that's right.
hopefully none of that. Well, did you play the Pies game 20 when we got done for like there was a fire in the gym?
No, that was the year before I got there. Against North, wasn't it?
Adelaide, yeah, round 2. We just had
There was
to
a fire in the
evacuate
crowd. And then how long did the game stop for?
like an hour as well.
And they didn't everyone leave the stadium and then come back or something?
It was bizarre.
That is bizarre.
So I've been in a few like random situation games like that. It's
that's
so hard
rogue
to like,
as.
get yourself up for after an hour. You just like I don't
Warm
mind it.
up.
I was just
I'd be stretching the whole time. You'd be probably, I don't know what you'd be
drinking a
doing.
milkshake.
Hey, yeah, you'd be chewing the fat with, I don't know, massage therapists out the back.
Literally.
Talking about crypto or something random as.
literally, yeah,
Someone else you hooked
something whack. But you would definitely be on the stretch. You'd be doing 1,000
I'd be staying warm. My back would almost break from the amount of ground balls I do.
100%.
That actually happened last year. The last game of the year as well with Collingwood was a lightning game as well.
Oh, yeah.
Against Melbourne.
Melbourne.
It's actually happened.
That would have been that annoying.
Oh,
you boys
because both teams knew they weren't playing finals and there was literally 7 minutes to go. So the boys come off and they were up by 6 goals. It's like, come on, can we just sort of wrap this up a bit?
That was worst ever.
Yeah, no good. I had a question for you because I know you love your NBA.
I've got a question for you as well.
Will you go first because I'm going to hold this off because I'll remember this one.
Someone who you think will make all Oz from Collingwood that hasn't like is on the
hasn't
rise.
exploded yet?
Yep.
Cool, all right. I feel like with our team, like apart from Nick, everyone's pretty evenly spread. I don't feel like we're the team that has, like who was the team last year? Like let's say Sydney, right? They got a lot of star power in Goulden, Warner,
Heaney.
Blakey off halfback. They had 4 Australians.
Yeah.
I feel like we got Nick is the standout, and I feel like probably, if anyone else was to be all Australian, like Darcy Moore had a great year that year.
Yeah.
It would be Geordie, but I think over Geordie's career, he hasn't been all Australian yet, but he's an all Australian caliber player. But he always seems to, he doesn't play every game. I think those awards are looked at. You have to play every game and be dominant.
Yeah.
Most
true.
games. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
know
he
what you're saying.
doesn't put himself in the position, not through lack of effort, but it's just sort of how it's unfolded for him so far. But I think he would be the one if he can get his body right.
After we were talking about round 24, like Lipper, when he had like 2 and 30 in that late.
So he just crossed my mind as someone that wouldn't be known or spoken about as someone who could explode because his running ability is off the charts. We were talking about who are some of the best in-game runners in the league. He would be one.
Yeah.
Him and Q.
And like his ball use, like if he could play like more mid-wing, I reckon, than forward, because forward's hard to get like more than 20. Like if you get more than 20, like you're going like really well and you're probably playing some sort of midfield. But
Yeah.
if he was like in the midfield or wing, I reckon he could.
Yeah, he could. So another thing with, say, all Australians, I think your team has to win a ton of games. Like if your team wins, if you're in the top 4, generally those teams get 3 or 4 players. I want to give you a name. Let me think. Josh Dacos has already been.
Yeah,
Like-
a lot of like your team is like very close to all Australian. Like
It's a very even team.
Yeah,
like there's Nick, and that's pretty even.
yeah, like Bruzzy, Steele,
Crispy,
Pendles.
Pendles.
Yeah, like they're all like
it's- everyone's really good, but we sort of just
they're
play
probably
our,
in that like
we play our roles rather than
top 40, and then they're probably like 40 to 80. There's probably
Yeah.
like 5, 6.
trying to think. Like Q, I know he's changed his training approach slightly this off season. Like you've seen how massive he is in his rigs, like on par with. Actually, yours is looking good, by the way. But he's changed up, going. He's stripping down, becoming leaner.
Yeah.
He's always been lean, but he's more of a running-based player. So I'm interested to see like how that translates for his footy because he got pretty bulky.
Yeah.
Josh Dacos always finds the ball and uses it well. So if we're winning and he's got the ball, especially if he's playing off halfback, he'll sink down for a few kickouts. So you'll probably get the numbers up.
Yeah, 30 face.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I really rate Connor McDonald as a player. We were talking about it as like forwards and our coach Adrian Hickmont as all Australian. Like Maury made it this year, but me, Connor McDonald, Wizard. I feel like we're only going to get better and push him to even go further. So like the goals, like everyone wants to kick them. So like Connor wants to kick 40. I want to kick 40. Wiz Connor.
Yeah, there's only so many to go around.
So yeah, but you know, me, Connor, and Maury all have that goal to make All Oz. So or the All Oz squad. So hopefully we can all sneak in and just keep dishing it to each other and pass it off.
It's like a little mosquito fleet down there, isn't it? With you guys, and then Punky is like the old mosquito.
Yeah. It's definitely good to have Punky and Gunners to keep us in check and look after us. But apart from the forward line, I would say
Like Jai Newcomb hasn't been All-Australian yet.
I reckon he could win the Brownlow.
He's a gun.
There's been
Like when he gets more recognition and when you guys start winning more games, I think people
I'm going to put on the
realise-
record he'll win the Brownlow this year.
You reckon?
Nick will win the Brownlow. Jai will come second.
You're pretty much safe to say Nick will win it every year. He'll always be thereabouts. But Jai as well.
Yeah.
Like he's a
Jai-
gun. Like obviously played with him at Hawks. He's a star. So strong, powerful. We always go head to head whenever we play each other. We sort of go at it pretty hard, but there's always that mutual respect. Like he's going to be, we already is a star. He was All-Australian squad this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was,
Yeah,
I
he
reckon.
was, yeah. Him and Mass, yeah.
But I agree. He's the one. He's like
Big guy.
he's your guy. He's like Sis is your captain, but he's like he'll
midfield.
do something within the midfield that changes a game.
He's got, I don't know if you saw, he caught his goal against the Doggies, the right foot snap out of the stoppage.
No.
It was like one of those beautiful ones where like from like 35 stoppage, Meekie straight to him, snap, and you're like running to the centre bounce already.
Yeah.
And all the boys just like came to him. It was like one of those moments in finals where you go, wow, that was like fucking special.
He's so powerful. He's so thick as well. Just like he's hard to tackle.
And because he's like come from VFL, like he's just like so like
He's like country strong, don't you reckon?
nice, yeah, country
He's
strong.
like but he's like
That's like most of our midfield, like Warps, Nuke,
Nashi.
they're all like,
Nashi's a bull.
we do like wrestling on Tuesdays, and I was trying to fight like Warps and Nashi, and me and Warps were fighting. I had him in a headlock, he had me in a headlock. Like it was, we're doing that grappling stuff. I was like, oh.
Dimmer's good at that stuff. Dimmer Hardwick.
Yeah.
He's
And
the best grappler. If your sis sees red, pretty much everyone's dead. Like he'll just go psycho.
Yeah. I'll definitely steer away from Dimmer, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Dimmer. All right, so my question for you was, you mentioned Dan Houston's kicking, and he's already laced me out at training a few times, been pretty elite, but I want you to build a player. So I'm going to give you an attribute and then the player that comes to mind. For example, kicking. Yeah. Let's just say Nick or Dan Houston. We'll part kicking. Yeah. I want to give you an attribute and then you're sort of building your player. All right. This isn't pre-planned, by the way, so we're just going with this. Handball.
Yeah. You.
Walked you straight into that. Thanks, Matt. That's a good start.
And that's actually no cap. Best handball I've ever seen. No,
you're looking after your boy there. Speed.
Lath Vandermeer.
Really? Is he that quite fast? I did some training with him at the Pulse 8 gym this off season, and in the some running drills we did, he's lightning. I didn't know that about him. Yeah, we're doing this bounding. He was just going like 10 meters a bound.
Yeah, this will be rogue. It's come to my head straight away. So yeah, but he's fast.
He's fast. Okay. Marking.
Jeremy McGovern.
Nice. Endurance.
Bradley Hill.
Yes, and good in-game runner. What test do you guys do out of interest for your running test at Hawks?
We did 6-minute run as fast as you can.
Just as far as you can get in 6 minutes?
Yeah. And then just before we break up, 4 1Ks.
4 1Ks. That is like nightmare of a test. Yeah.
Hardest test probably
ever
in the AFL.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think you and
that
Freo,
or a 3K.
You guys and Freo do it. Oh, far out. That's tough. Probably I'd prefer the 4 1Ks just because I prefer that stop-start running. Anyway, back to my question. Footy IQ?
The obvious one's Pendles, but...
You can say yourself.
Nah.
Building a play with me, it would be cool.
Footy IQ.
Sort of hard when we're not in footy season, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like...
Joel Selwood. Yeah, he's playing now.
No, doesn't have to be playing now. Why Selwood?
Oh, no, I've just heard him speak about, like, on podcasts and, like, him and... I feel like him, Joe Watson, Trent Cotchin, like, I've heard them speak about football and they feel like, obviously, captains... but yeah, they know footy very well.
It is funny, those guys that are perceived, like Selwood would be perceived as just a hard nut who just has a crack, he's tough, isn't as smart as what you would think. But I agree, like those type of players, even like a Luke Hodge,
Yeah,
like tough as nails.
That would be a good one.
And you perceive those guys as don't think through the game as much because they just go full tilt, but also very smart and calculated.
And hard to know like footy IQ from like obviously Pendles, but like from different clubs.
Yeah.
Like there would be like
You have to play with them to know.
No one would know that I was smart at footy. Like
Yeah,
footy
I know.
IQ.
No, that's what I was saying to you before. I look at you like you're wearing a golf polo and 3/4 boardies. I'm like, this guy's got no idea. Others.
Literally.
And my last one would be goal kicking ability or like goal kicking nous.
Toby Green or Luke Bruce.
Lock one in.
Toby Green.
Yeah.
Toby Green's a star.
We had Toby on the pod
He's
recently.
Ridiculous.
And he was talking about how he practices. Like, it seems like in forward 50, he'll get it any position on the ground, off balance, and just throw it in his boot. It always just goes in.
Unbelievable.
He kicks goals every game
What was
like
he
that.
saying?
He was saying the way he practices is that he practices exactly that. He just gets balls thrown at him. He'll be facing any direction. He just literally throws on his boot and just practices reaction kicks. And just, no matter which way he's holding the ball, just like getting on his foot, getting it spinning like a snap.
Yeah.
And literally just practices wild kicks over his head and
I
all
don't
sorts
do
of
it that
things.
complex, but like, when I try to like do crumbs, like I'm only ever trying to take a step because, training, you can take like 2 or 3 steps and snap and it doesn't like
And it's easy. Everyone kicks those. Like you get it, you waltz. But how many of them do you get in a game, especially your position?
yeah, like you get
You might get one
or
that
two.
feels great.
Literally. But the ones like are off the pack and like there's someone right there and you like got to twist the ball.
Yes.
I know. So I know what he's talking about. That's definitely a good way to train it. For
Yeah.
Sure.
And your left foot snap's pretty underrated too.
I kicked a
reckon.
good one last year against Carlton. Set shot from
Did you
like
kick one in a final? You kicked a few snaps in a final.
2
Yeah.
against Port.
Left foot, right footers.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Just nice and curled in nicely.
I've actually copied I've been practicing a few of those snaps. You know when, say, the ball's out on the full or you get a free right and tight in the pocket and you do the little lean back. I reckon I learned that off you when we used to do goal kicking. I don't know why. It's just a habit I've started.
Yeah, love the lean back. Get the momentum going.
Yeah. And then the spin to the crowd. I haven't got that part yet.
Definitely. I need to see a good celebration from you this year. You don't.
Another question. Let's go to basketball now because these are our sports. I want to build a starting 5. It's like a draft.
Yeah. Team versus team.
Team versus team.
Yeah.
So of any era, we'll go season.
Now?
What's that? Oh, you want to do current?
Yeah.
You want to do current?
Yeah. I don't like talking about old.
All right.
Old
And
players.
is it how they are current? Or so like if I pick LeBron, is it LeBron now or LeBron in his prime? Or do you want to do it as of right now?
What do you reckon?
I'm happy to do it as of right now.
Yeah, as of right now.
All right. Scissors, paper, rock. We'll go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, you get first pick of the draft, then we'll come together and say whose squad's better. And this is good because it puts you under a bit of pressure
You have to pick.
where you have to think.
Yeah.
One of us could miss like a gun player.
Point guard, shooting guard, small forward.
I just pick your 5. We're going 5v5.
Joker.
Shit. Steph.
Luca.
Oh, you got in the internationals early. Giannis.
Tatum.
Ooh. Couldn't get minutes for Team USA though.
Star.
He's getting minutes on your team. KD.
Shea.
He was going to be my next. Okay.
This is a bloodbath.
You reckon? My way. AD.
Oh.
Get some height in here.
Dirty about that. LeBron.
Yeah, okay. I'll finish with. I'm trying to go like through the standings, like where every team is at the moment.
Yeah.
Like the West is stacked hard. Who's actually leading the West? I'll go Anthony Edwards.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah. You go your 5 first, and we might even actually put a poll up on socials and get Ginn starting 5 v my starting 5.
a good idea.
So, who are your? Have you got like sort of guards, forward, center?
I've done it pretty well.
Okay, you happy with it?
Yeah.
All right.
So I've got
Who are your guards?
point guard Luca, shooting guard Shea, small forward Tatum, power forward LeBron, center Joker.
Squad. With your coaching and your IQ, pretty elite squad. All right, I've got the greatest point guard of all time, Steph Curry. The best up-and-coming player in the league, probably going to be the face of the league for the next 10 years, Anthony Edwards. Kevin Durant, probably the best scorer in the league. Probably, won his 4th gold medal or something crazy. Giannis, MVP. and has won a championship. He's my 4 man, and Anthony Davis is my 5.
It's pretty close.
You can't really go wrong with these. What were your thoughts on that starting 5 doco that we were talking about? The actual starting 5 doco. How cool is that access? Do you reckon we should do more of that stuff in AFL?
Yeah, 100%.
Because Hawks are doing a doco.
Yeah, Hawks are doing doco. I don't really know like
What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, what the go is, but imagine like if they did that. There's just so much money over there.
Yeah.
Like if like they probably got paid a fair bit to do it, but it'd be cool to like have 5 people from the AFL, 5 different unique people, because like Butler and Sabonis like so different. LeBron, Tatum, like everyone had their own little like intricacies and like different things. So it was definitely cool to watch, that's for sure. And I think they're doing another starting 5 with KD, Halliburton, don't know the rest, 3 more, but that'll be set.
That'll be epic.
KD will be good because no one knows what he does.
No, but he lays really low. Yeah. But he's cool. Like I remember meeting him a few years ago. We spent an hour with him. And he was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Gave us so much time. What would the cameras expect to see with you if they followed you around for 2 weeks? What's like a day in your life? Like on your day off, what are you doing? Apart from being in here doing potties?
I went to Love Bowl this morning, so an acai bowl would be in there for sure.
You love that joint.
And then after this, actually going to swim pool.
Yeah.
And a bit of basketball and cooking, a lot of cooking.
Really? Is that a recent thing? Because you weren't always like that. Is that since you started taking your diet real serious?
Yeah, probably for like 6 months now, 9 months. But now like every night, like cooking lunch, try to cook lunch, dinner. So
what do you like to make?
Salmon bowls, a lot of stuff with like pumpkin instead of rice.
Yeah, huge.
What else? Enchiladas.
Enchiladas one of my favorite foods. Chicken enchiladas.
And you just like stuff them with like heaps of veggies. So
yeah.
Made like a sweet potato pizza instead of pizza base, just like mush up sweet potato.
Really? How was it?
Yeah, it was actually delish.
And then always obviously your fruit salad, your Guinea special.
Yeah.
We're going to do another roast at mine again. I sent you the prep last week. I did a practice run, so I'll be ready to go.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, that'll be us.
Cooks a good roast, Titch.
Hey, yeah, well, the machine does it for me, but I want to give you one last pump up. I want to pull you in for 2 and just give you a pump up. So on your diet stuff, because this could apply to anyone who is like in a position, whether it be in work or in footy when it comes to crunch time. I distinctly remember it was 2023. I remember when you had like that, you had a rough patch. You were playing 2s and we'd always like connect each week and I'd say just be there for the last game of the year, hang in there. And I remember you made a distinct decision and you went and saw Joe, the nutritionist, and you started taking your diet so serious and you leaned up, and obviously you've stuck with the changes because you're still looking after yourself so much with your diet and things like that now. And then I still remember as well, you made a distinct decision and it got raised in all Flyers meetings and things like that as well. You were the best trainer at the club for like literally the last 6 months. And I think it goes to show that you can make that decision at any point in time. Like I think a lot of people have the attitude, or players in the AFL as well, it's like, oh, I'll just wait till the start of next season or the preseason to do something. You can always do something about something pretty much straight away. Yeah. And whether you get there like you did, you've got there and you'll become a premiership player. Incredible that you managed to do it, because it is harder to do it when you have less time to plan for it.
Definitely.
But what was your experience and insight with that? Because I just find it so fascinating for someone of your age who's like, still young and finding his way, but you still had you get whacked around for, whatever, sometimes, not being as mature as you should be. But like, to me, that was like, that's significant maturity in terms of controlling your career. That was a big part of your life where if you didn't make that choice, then you wouldn't have won a premiership and been a premiership player. So like, how did you do that? Because you've got this side of you that is super smart, super mature, which I want everyone to know because I know you and I know that about you. But how did you do that for like the younger audience listening?
Yeah. Definitely connected with people I trusted around the club, and I guess, talking to you about what I wanted to achieve, and like, did I just want to go through the year and finish in the 2s and, not have this opportunity to win a flag, I guess, or something like that. And then, I remember speaking to Fly about like, how am I going to get back into the side? And he said, you're going to be the best trainer for the next however long until like you're playing. So I remember having that conversation. And then when we were training at Gosh's a lot, and I was training in the midfield, and like I was playing in the twos in the white team and I would just play. And I remember like,
You were dominating.
and I would go like try to play on Nick or go like probably be playing on you or like Pendles or someone in the midfield that, you know, to challenge myself. And whenever the ball was like near me, it was like, it didn't matter if I got injured. It was probably just a change in mindset. Like I was going as hard as I could, diving on the ball.
I remember.
Getting it out. Just all these little things that like when you're in the AFL, you're like, you're not complacent, but you're just like maybe taking a backward step because you're like, oh, I've got to play like, I'm just going to feel good. And like, but it was like for me, it didn't matter because I was like coming in the twos and like if I was sore on the weekend, like.
You almost at the point you didn't have a choice. You had to do that, which was probably the best thing because it forced that out of you. And then it comes out in that, I still remember that game, I think round 23 against the Bombers, you dominate the first quarter. I think you have like 10 touches, you kick 3 or so goals for the game. But I think that performance came from the training, genuinely.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've learned as well, like training, I wasn't a big believer in like early on, like training the way you play or like just like, but now I'm starting to like, definitely now, like this year, like starting to realize how much it does affect and as you would know being older, but like just like little things like high end speed and sprinting like in training. And I'm a bit of a plotter. So like, you know, I could always just like plot around and then when the ball come to me, sometimes I would naturally just do something good. But now it's sort of like work really hard and like put yourself in like uncomfortable situations and make yourself absolutely gas and you feel like this in a game and you're feeling better for it. And then in terms of diet, like, I don't know, it's just like a real individual thing. Like I found foods that worked for me and I've like, even now, like I like trying to cut out bread and like just things that like make me feel worse. It's not like for the individual, like it's different. Like on the weekend I had like a sandwich because all the boys were having a sandwich, like not being like too
psycho about it.
Yeah, but like just being like during the week, like
The
now,
80-20 rule.
yeah,
You know?
even like, probably like 90-10, like a bit more, but because you know you got to make changes if you want to become like go from good to great, I guess. And I've always been good, but like I want to be great. So
nah, it's great insight, and I think I don't know. I just think it's a story worth telling because I know exactly what you mean as well with like preserving yourself at training, because I think you do have to pick times as well. You know, you can't fly around at training all year round. You would love to, but I've experienced times where you preserve yourself and then you're that half a second sluggish in a game. You're like, oh, I could have got there. But if you're training it all the time, it's just instinctual. You just do it. So there's that piece, but then there's also...
It's a habit. It just becomes a habit.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes a habit. But I think as well for junior footballers or footballers playing local or whatever level, if you can't do it for the whole session, one of the best lessons I learned from Andrew Russell, you never had him, obviously.
No,
he was
but I
at
know
Hawthorn.
who he is.
Yeah, he was at Carlton. I had him at Hawks. He was a gun. Cripper speaks fairly highly of him as well, but he used to say to me, you get the list of training drills, you might have 6. He's like, pick your one. You know, you can't go full tilt the whole time. You might be sore, you might have an injury. Pick your one where you're going full game speed. And then you're still getting that hit to carry into a game.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just a life lesson I've learned for footy. But mate, we'll continue these chats. We'll keep it ticking along.
Pivotal conversations.
In the background. Yeah. Shout out to them as well. But mate, thanks for jumping on. Looking forward to see how you boys go this year. I'll see you twice. Once at both at the G.
Yeah, both.
We had you in gather round last year in Adelaide.
Yeah, pox.
Yeah.
Get us to the G.
Yeah, get us to the G. I think we go for one of them was Friday night, which would be massive. So
You to bed again.
Hey, yeah, you're going to put us to sleep. It'll be the role reversal. Remember when I was playing for Hawks, you were playing for Pies, and this is before I loved you and became good mates with you, but I was into your heart, remember?
Yeah.
You were flat as because you used to love the Hawks and stuff. And what was I saying to you? Do you remember?
I don't know, but you were calling me mean names probably, but I always used to back you. He was one of my favourite players, so he was that dirty when he was off me.
Well, we've patched it up now. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good, but no, it's been good.
Good work in. Good stuff.